What is up? What's good, guys? Let's start up a rookie draft. We've got a bunch of rookie drafts coming up. I've got some coming up tomorrow. I know people got them coming up tonight, tomorrow, during the week. So let's hop on here, talk about some rookies, talk Dynasty, get into a rookie draft. I've got the link in the chat so you can hop in. We still have a few spots left to fill in here. So, what up, Kev? What's goody? Yeah, I wasn't doing nothing. I figured I'd hop on. Let me post this link. It's not it. And then we could get this full. We need what? Three more slots. All right, three more. Let me pull it up. But yeah, what's good? When do you have your rookie drafts coming up? Everybody out there, when are your rookie drafts that are coming up? I tried to put out as much as I could early on and quick because I know people have rookie drafts relatively quickly. So I've posted rankings on Instagram. You can follow on Instagram, Dynasty Life Fantasy. I've posted rankings on there. I've posted rookie mocks, like the top 24. Basically, I posted the top 24, and also on YouTube. I just let that video out today, so go check that out if you haven't already. It's basically the first two rounds of a Superflex rookie mock draft. How I see it, I kind of break it down into a few different tiers. But yeah, check that out. Let me know let me know what you guys think of that. Draft got me tripping. What's real? Yeah, man. The draft, yeah. Yep. So let me send this out to one more place and then we should have it full pretty quick. This is not what I wanted. All right. We should get it full within the next few minutes here. And whoever's out there, feel free to hop in. Link is in the chat. You're doing one now. Oh shit. One now, one tomorrow. Exactly. A lot of people have them going on right now. So picks that concern me most is the 105 to 107. Yeah, it's kind of in that range of where it's like, if you want to move back a few spots from like the 105 to the 107, like I'll take who's left. You know what I mean? It's one of those spots where you're stuck making a decision. So can you move back a little bit, maybe pick up another asset, let somebody else make the choice, and then you take what's left there. So it's tough. But yeah, even going into like the second round, there's a ton of wide receivers, right? The running backs just did not get drafted highly, and they did not go to like there wasn't a lot of great spots. I mean, Benson and Brooks went to great spots, but not everybody else did. Not everybody else did. And is this big enough? Can we see? Uh, all right. Yeah, how early do you take some of the running backs now? Are they in the back end of the first? Like, how high do you want to take them? A lot of people wanna take McConkey and Worthy, like, really high. What do you do with those 3 guys? Worthy, McConkey, and Brian Thomas. Like, how do you rank those guys? I think that's one tier there that you kinda have to decide and you wanna rank. I mean, Brian Thomas was the wide receiver 4 coming in, especially just talent-wise. Like, he has more talent to become a real wide receiver 1 for us in fantasy. Whereas, like, Worthy and McConkey, like, do they have the ability to give us wide receiver 1, like, to actually be a wide receiver 1? Like, it just feels like for those guys, like, those teams might still go out and get other competition, like, with them. Like, Brian Thomas has that upside to be, like, the alpha wide receiver 1, but the 2 spots are so good, right? The Chiefs, the Chargers, so, like, which one do you choose? Like, who do you go with? Those 3 guys. Brian Thomas getting the best, like, draft capital out of them. So who do you want? And then the wide receivers go deep into the second round. I mean, even the running backs, like, I'm not after Benson and Brooks, like, I don't really wanna take a running back until, like, maybe the end of the second or like, 3rd round. Like, that's when I'm trying to take the running backs. Like, I don't really think it's worth taking any of the other running backs in that second, like, the mid-second almost. You know, for me, I'm just kinda filling that out with a bunch of wide receivers. But, yeah, what do you guys feel about the running backs here? Jay, what's up, Jay? Are you in here? The link is in the chat. Hop in this rookie mock. We need 2 more, unless you're in here already. We need 2 more to get us started. Leaning more towards Chargers since no one there standing out. Leaning what more towards Chargers? Like McConkey, you mean? All the QBs except for Penix and Rattler went in first round of my draft currently doing. Penix went 2-8, really? See, I can't let him fall that far. That's too much for me. Like, I know it's a risk. I know that you have to wait, but I can't. Like, for me, man, maybe like I've said it earlier, maybe like the 2-3. It's like I've got to take him at that point. I can't let him drop that much farther because when that time does come, he's gonna have a prime London, a prime Pitts. Like, are we really I mean, Kirk Cousins coming off an ACL, off of the right. The back foot, the one he plants off of also, like, what if he gets hurt again? What if they don't make the playoffs? What if they do make the playoffs and they choke? Like, is it really worth you know, to keep playing Kirk if you know that Penix can play? Like, Penix is a great quarterback. Alright, we're full. Alright, boom. Let's, randomize this shit. Start that bad boy up. So I've got the 102 here, and for me, it's 1 tier. The 101, 102, it's Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, or vice versa. If you can't slide out of that 101 and you don't need a quarterback, I'm okay with you just taking Marvin there. Let's see what happens on the rest of this draft here. 103 on, because this is a huge tier for me. 103 to 17 is one big tier. And it's kinda like pick who you want. Do you wanna take the quarterbacks? Do you wanna take some of that risk? Or go with some of the safe quarterbacks like JJ McCarthy, or do you wanna go after that upside in Neighbors? Or even Odunze, I guess, if you liked Odunze. I jumped in for you, but appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate you. You got any, rookie drafts coming up right now, Jay, or are they later on? So they go, all right, so Jaden Daniels goes and then Neighbors goes. Like Jaden Daniels has the upside. He has the upside. He is a rushing quarterback, but does he really have the frame to take on hits? Like, the way he takes hits, like that's not going to work in the NFL. So there is some risk there, but he has a ton of potential. And some people are taking JJ McCarthy at the 1-3 because he's a safe pick, it feels like. Do you want to just be safe at that? Do you want another Anthony Richardson who got hurt already first year? Do you want another Bryce Young who lost a ton of value, like Drake May going to the Patriots? Not much weapons there. They did get some weapons in the draft. I like some of the young guys that they got in Polk and Javon Baker. So they got him a little bit of weapons there. Neighbors going to the Giants. He'll be a target hog over there. They just don't have a they don't have a ton of they don't have great quarterback play. Like, what are we getting out of Daniel Jones? What are we really getting out of Daniel Jones? Yeah, sleeper does lag a little bit. That's why I like to leave it on 1 minute because sometimes it does be fucking around. Like, there's so many people on sleeper doing mocks and stuff. So I like to just leave it on 1 minute. So there goes Odunze and then McCarthy. Like, that's that 103 to 107. It's pretty much locked in between those guys. Like, I don't think we should be taking, Worthy or McConkey ahead of any of these guys. Even Bo Nix, like, it's hard. Like, for me, Bo Nix is the 108. Like, he's a starting quarterback. And he's going right in to be that guy. There's Diaz taking Brooks at the 1-9. Okay, Diaz. You're in the two of middle. You're in the middle of two right now. Commission League is next Friday. Nice. There goes Bowers at the 111. Marty, what up, Marty? Was good. What to do with Michael Mayer shares? I don't know. Trashed now. I don't know. You're gonna have to go get someone else, that's for sure. You have to get someone else. Traded the 202 and a third for the 205 and a second next year. Okay, I'm okay with that. Move back a few slots, especially if you like a bunch of guys in that tier over there, and then you get a second on top of it for next year. I'll take that. So, what's my pick? Here we go. See, this is where like it's hard for me to pass up. Like once I get into this range, it's hard for me to pass up Penix here. I mean, Trey Benson is extremely a guy that I might want to go, but I'm gonna do the Penix. I'm gonna do the Bo Nix is still out here. What? How is Bo Nix still out here? No way. I'm gonna take Nix. I'm gonna take Nix. I don't think he should be leaving that the first round. I don't think Nix. But you got Worthy, Bowers, then McConkey. So Brian Thomas there, look, went to 1-8 after JJ. So like I said, if he can be that real wide receiver one for them, and Coleman goes at the 2-3. So yeah, for me, like Penix and Benson, I think have got to come off the board before I'm taking, for me at least, before I'm taking Coleman. And Coleman has a ton of upside, but where are they going to deploy him? Like he's going to be better off in the slot because if they try and turn him into fucking QJ, like and throw him on the outside where he's not good against press coverage and he's not separating on his routes, like he's probably has to be better playing in the slot. Yeah, Adonai Mitchell goes at the 2-1. That's a little early for me. I mean, if you like him, I guess, and I like him too. But the problem is, like, you do have Pittman there who just got a contract, and you've got Anthony Richardson who, like, how many times are they going to throw the ball? How valuable really is AD Mitchell going to be? Is it going to be some kind of AJ Brown and Devonta Smith? Like, is it going to be like that? It's possible. It's possible, but I have him down a little bit more, but it's understandable if you like him there, especially the spot. Like there goes Penix at the 2-5, Jalen Polk at the 2-6. I like that. In a 108 and a 204 so far. I had McCarthy and Coleman. Okay, nice. A lot of people in the 1-6 back are trading back. Yep. Nixon Coleman still hanging. Yeah. Jaden Daniels, I don't need Penix old ass on my team. I don't care about the age really. I mean, you picked all the way at the 1-3, so you're not going. We're not taking Penix there, but yeah, I mean, the age for the quarterback is not as much of a big deal. I really like Penix. A lot of teams like Penix. Everybody loved Penix until the championship game came, and once that happened, like everybody pushed him down. And then, of course, the injuries that he's had in the past. But now he goes to the Falcons. Like, are we really? We're gonna bet all the marbles on Kirk Cousins? He hasn't delivered. Even for the Vikings when he had good talent, right? So, what if he doesn't deliver for the Falcons? What if they don't make the playoffs, or what if they do and they bounced on the first round? Maybe 2 years in a row that happens. Are we rolling with, again, Kirk Cousins for that a 3rd year after that? Those are questions that, we don't know. We don't know yet. Roman Wilson. Let's see. Like yeah, for me, it's either Lloyd or Wright. I really like both of these guys. I'm gonna go with Wright. But this is where the running backs start coming off for me. Like once we get to that back end of the second or the start in the third here, this is where these running backs are going to start coming. We had a bunch of wide receivers go, right? Troy Franklin went at the 2-7, Pearsall, Leggett, Burton, Corley, and then Luke McCaffrey. I don't know about Luke McCaffrey at that pick, but you never know. Like Franklin, I really loved. Franklin was like a back end first, early second, and then he wound up falling in the draft. But then he goes to Denver to play with his college quarterback, Bo Nix, so I like it. Like, how far down can we push Franklin? Like, I have him in the tier of like the 207 to the 211, like somewhere in that area. Like, I'm fine with taking him. Pearsall just doesn't go to a great spot. He's got great talent. But is Debo getting traded or Ayuk is getting traded? I could see Debo getting traded, or maybe Debo's gone after next year. So at that point, Pearsall is going to be, is going to have a role, and he could be valuable. So I do still have faith in Pearsall there. Leggett is a question mark. He goes at the 2-9 here, but that's crazy value. I mean, he was a first round. He was a first round. Or what was it? First and the second round wide receiver. Justin Shorter gets healthy and shows what he can do. I'm not worried about Justin Shorter, Jay. I don't think any of us should be worried about Justin Shorter. That's why I traded back to my second and still took Mitchell at 205. Would have taken him at 202. Yeah. I know nobody wants to wait 2 years to unwrap the gift. That's the thing. Nobody has patience anymore until that 2 years is finally here. And then Penix is the starter with a prime London, a prime Pitts, a prime Bijan. And then he's going to be valued so high. So you do have to wait, but that's what you're getting. You're getting him at a discount. Like you're getting him in the second round of rookie drafts, a top 10 quarterback that was picked in the NFL draft that is on a good team with great weapons. So just think about like how that's going to be perceived once that 2 years gets here. He's going to be worth a lot more than what you're picking him for at the wherever it is in the second round. Especially if he's going here, like the 2-5, we're back into the second. Roman Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, yep, Braylon Allen. I mean, he's not taking anything away from Brees, but I mean, Jatavian Sanders. I mean, I think I like him and Benson, not both of them. I like you could go either or there. Trying to get some weapons for Bryce, Devontae Walker, McMillan, Vidal. Yep. Diaz goes with Vidal, late round pick, but I mean, there's not much there. Some injuries happen. Will Shipley going to Philly. I don't love that. I'm not taking Shipley this early. Not with Saquon there. I mean, but if Saquon gets hurt, Shipley goes right in. These are all these guys were all just taking chances on down here that they get a shot, whether it is some spot starts for us, whether it is, a few games, a half a season, 1 season, 2 seasons maybe, but Spencer Rattler at the 4-1. All right, so it's my pick here. Estimate Ray Davis. Lob. Brendan Rice was an interesting, late pick because there's not much talent, on the Chargers, and if somebody gets hurt, he's gonna be thrust into an opportunity. Yeah, Ben Sinnott is still here, especially in the tight end premium. You could argue going Sinnott, but I'm gonna go with, Ray Davis on Buffalo, I think. Yeah, there goes Sinnott. Good pick, Marty. I just didn't wanna pick a tight end. I don't know if I just care for him much, you can buy him for cheap during the season also, I mean, getting Sanat here is good though. At the 4-3, especially in any kind of tight end premium, that's good. That's sick value. And I'm fine with taking tight ends there. But even Bowers at the 111, in if it's not more than a 1.5 tight end premium, I don't really think I want to take him in the first round. It has to be worth it. It's got to be the 1.75 or the full 2 points. And then I'm okay with putting them up in that, in the first. I'm just tired of paying for these tight ends, and then you could get him cheaper after year 1. I mean, look what we did with Michael Mayer, and now he's fucking nuked. You just don't know. And for tight ends, is it worth it? I did put 5 rounds in here because I just wanted to go, a little bit deeper. Figured we could, get into some of the, some taxi guys. We'll go as deep as we can. Dart throw anyway, like the gamble. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kev. That's what I'm saying. Isaiah Davis to the Jets. So Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. Cody Schrader. Frank Gore got signed to the Bills undrafted. Rasheen Ali down here at Baltimore. These are all guys that I like. Jacob Cowing still up here. Johnny Wilson goes to Philly. Jamari Thrash, Anaya Smith, who went to Philly as well. Nice pick with Lob. Baker is a nasty steal in the third. Baker is definitely a nasty steal in the third. I mean, yeah, how are you guys feeling about well, I guess we could talk about it after too, but Teal's son got signed to 49ers. Yeah, I didn't even check actually the latest who's the latest ones that got signed. I actually gotta do that. But yeah, I mean, who is a value here? Who are you guys seeing? Who is a value? Who do you think got maybe taken too early? I think for the quarterbacks, Bo Nix, I got Bo Nix at the 2-2. I mean, I think that's a value. Penix, we've been talking about. I think that's a value too. 108 to 108, 109 to that 203. That's a big tier for me, a big range. Take who you like. I'm fine with all these Worthy, Bowers, McConkey. Well, not really Mitchell. I wouldn't have took Mitchell that early, but if you like him and that's one of your dudes, like I said, if you envision that Devonta Smith and an AJ Brown type, with Hurts, then I can see that. He was a steal. He wound up falling. There was talk about him going in the first round. Like, he wound up falling, like, a lot. And don't forget, guys, if you have leagues that you get points in, like, kick return, special teams points, right? Guys like Anais Smith, um, who else is down here? But, yeah, any of these guys that might be on special teams or play special teams, like, pay attention to those guys too, if you get points for those guys. But the thing is they wind up finding themselves on a roster, so especially, like, these running backs. Nice pick with Dio. I think Jaheim Bell, who we gonna go with? Mm, I don't know who to go with here. I'd probably go with my boy Rasheen Ali. I think to Baltimore, you've got a hurt Keaton Mitchell. You've got obviously, the king Derrick Henry, but if any injuries happen there, you never know. Rasheen Ali could get a shot. A guy I've talked about, a guy that I like coming in that wind up kind of falling a little bit because he wound up getting hurt at the Senior Bowl practice, couldn't participate in the Senior Bowl, could not participate in the combine or the pro day. Tyrone Tracy, nice pick there, Marty. I like that. Nobody really in that backfield other than Singletary. So, does Tracy find himself some kind of role? Jamari Thrash, love it. Milton. Yeah, I was shocked Bo Nix fell to the 304 in your super flex league. Wow, really? I think Nix is he's kinda like a safe-ish quarterback. Like, he's smart. He's gonna be with Sean Payton now. He's got his boy Troy Franklin with him. Wish Milton went somewhere else, but it was a good move by the Pats. Yeah, yeah. We know he's got just a cannon for an arm, but I don't know. Even Rattler, like, Rattler's interesting going to the Saints. Like, that is something the Saints would do. Take take a quarterback later on. I mean, they've only got Derek Carr, so does Rattler get a shot? Like, Carr gets injured, Rattler comes in, maybe he does his thing, or maybe he doesn't, but I like that pick in the 4th. I like the Theo Johnson at the 5-1 too. Like, Lob even at the 4-9, like, I'm taking him before Isaiah Davis probably. Garendo's interesting, right? With Mitchell back there, that guy can never stay healthy. Garendo could be out of the backfield, spelling CMC, catching some passes. Frank Gore, Pratt, Nesbitt. Yeah, boom. Schrader too. So that's even more interesting where Schrader signs as a undrafted free agent. I like Lob. I like Lob. I've posted about him a few times. We've talked about him. I like him a lot. He's an Oster Ecklerish, James Whiteish, Danny Woodheadish, like, type of dude. Like, he can play special teams, punt return, kick return, especially now with, like, the new rules. So he should find himself on the roster to make the roster and all that. I wouldn't be worried about that, because he can play special teams. And then, like, who else is there? Like, all there is Zamir White. So, yeah, like, I love the pick, and I think he's got a good chance to, like, maybe find a role. Like, I like him. And Jared Wiley, yes. He showed out a little bit, I think it was at the Senior Bowl, and now he wind up going to the Chiefs, so he gets to sit behind Kelsey. Yep, and learn behind Kelsey, so I do like Wiley. Did he wind up going in here? No, he didn't wind up getting picked here. But yeah, Wiley is a guy that you can stash, another guy that you can look late into your draft. So, going into that third round, basically we're looking at all the rest of those running backs, right? The Jalen Wrights, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd, um, Raylan Allen. Well, no, I would say before that. So it's more like Corum, Jalen Wright, Lloyd, Ray Davis, Kamani Vidal, Dylan Laub, Estime, Shipley, Irving. Like we're taking chances on all these guys in the thirds and fourth rounds. Brendan Rice is a great flyer to take in that fourth round at the end of your rookie drafts. Malik Washington is another one. I mean, Brendan Rice on the Chargers, like I said, if somebody gets hurt, like there's nobody else there. There's not much talent on that team. So he can wind himself, if he finds himself playing with a quarterback like Justin Herbert who can throw it a little bit, maybe he can show that he can play. Same thing with Malik Washington, like going into Miami. He kind of fits perfect right in the slot. Like, Jesus, you got Waddle, you got Hill, now you've got Malik Washington. Like, he was a later round pick, but he was a guy that a lot of people liked. Winds up going to Miami, which kind of sucks because of all the guys that they've got around, but he'll have some flashes. Or if one of these guys gets hurt, right? Waddle, Hill, we don't know how much longer Hill's playing, right? So I like him later on. Rasheen Ali. So those are some of the guys I'm looking for, later in my drafts. Jordan. I mean, yeah, they've got Mixon. They wind up paying Mixon, but it doesn't. It's always good to have a backup running back. But another one of those guys. He's just one injury away. That all of these guys are almost like they're the same. They're one injury away from like really, having a chance to play some games. Now, I will say that like guys that might have a chance to have an actual role, right? Brooks, Benson, these guys are guys that can possibly be some kind of RB1s for us at best. At worst, maybe they're RB2s. At least that's what we hope for, right? They have chances to take over those backfields. And they're guys that can play, three downs. For me, I like Brooks better than Benson, but like it's a more like a 1A, 1B, take which one you want. After that, you've got like Corum could carve out a role, right? Jalen Wright could carve out a role. Marshawn Lloyd could carve out a role. And then if the guys in front of them get hurt, they jump in to that workload, right? Who else could get a role? Bucky Irving's gonna have a role, right? Dylan Laub is gonna have a role. Ray Davis is gonna have a role. And then the other guys, it's like maybe it just takes an injury, takes a bunch of injuries, maybe, whether it's Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Estime, Rasheen Ali, Tracy, right? Vidal, Berendo. Those are the guys where it's going to take, an injury to get in. Those other guys, they might have a shot at actually having some kind of role, being some kind of committee. Right? Yeah. All those running backs in Dallas got none. So Zeke, I guess, is heading back to Dallas, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think they really wanted to take Brooks, but they wind up like he went before it was their turn to pick because their doctors, apparently their staff, did the surgery on Brooks, and so they wanted to take Brooks in the back end there. But if Brooks didn't get hurt, he could have been a back end first round pick, but he wound up getting hurt, so wound up getting the discount on him, and Dallas just waited too long. They should have moved up, make sure to get their guy, and they didn't. So I don't know. No, I don't know anything about that Cowboys guy. I'll have to look into more of some of these later round guys and these undrafted guys to kind of back end our, fourth round picks, fifth round picks. Someone just released Christian Watson. Why would they do that? I mean, go pick him up, I guess. Go pick him up. But yeah, what trades you guys got going on? Any trades in the inboxes? Anything y'all got? But yeah, who do you guys like even as like the QB2? Like, is it locked in Jaden Daniels or are you going safe with JJ McCarthy? Because it's a legit conversation. Are you going with the upside and the risk, or are you going kind of safe with McCarthy? Or you even going for the upside maybe in Drake May? Like, those are the other questions other than the wide receivers. Because I think the Harrison, Neighbors, or Dunze is that's a clear order, but the quarterbacks are not. Just like those wide receivers after. I think he's too risky, but I'm thinking of throwing a bunch of fab at him. Yeah, I mean, does your fab reset? I mean, if it doesn't, I wouldn't throw a bunch of fab at him, but I traded 104 for Pickens and B-Rob. You mean like Bijan? Please tell me you're talking about Bijan. Not like B-Rob. You traded a 104. No, you didn't, Marty. Don't tell me that. You mean Bijan? Pickens and B-Rob? B-Rob? No. What? You traded Pickens? You traded the 104 away and you got Pickens and B-Rob, or you got the 104? Pickens is my supernova. No. You gave up the 104 in Superflex for Pickens and Brian Robinson? That's not enough for me. Oh, no. Oh, Marty, no, no, no. What leagues are we in? Maybe we got to talk about some trades. No, you can't. No, Marty, not for the 104. Like, you just gave up Neighbors, Daniels, like McCarthy. You gave up a quarterback for Pickens. I mean, it's okay to like certain players. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But don't like overpay, or don't don't lose all of that value. Like, he's not valued that high, so don't pay, that high. You may value him as being that high, but other people don't. So don't go and overpay, because you definitely didn't have to overpay there. Marty don't fucked up. Joshua said Marty don't fucked up. Marty did fuck up on that one. Oh man. But listen, unless Pickens becomes the dog and that wide receiver one, we could be wrong. It's something we're not going to know the answer to right now. But I think just as far as value wise, like, it's something that you shouldn't have done. You should just pay appropriate market value for him rather than overpay him. No, you're not completely fine with it, man. You're not, because they're going to put up the same numbers, if not Neighbors better. So you're not going to be fine with it. You're going to want Neighbors. And it's more of like, what does the community want? Like, it's more of just the value itself. Like, people just don't, for some reason, just don't want Pickens. Don't like just like me. I mean, I don't like Pickens, but at the same time, like, the value for him is totally different. So people are just valuing Neighbors so high that even if you don't like them, like, you could come off of Neighbors and find yourself some other like top 15-ish wide receiver. And I know that you might want to think that Pickens is a top 15-ish wide receiver, but he's not valued that way. So, like, you could have got like way more. Like, I'm fine with you going to get Pickens, but you should have got way more out of the trade, I think is what I'm trying to say. I want more than just Pickens and B-Rob. Like, you got to give me more than that. I need another first thrown in there or something. Like, you know? I said, "I thought you got the 104." No, no, you didn't get the 104. Damn. Could you got yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Kevin. Like, I want another first. I'm fine with taking Pickens, especially if you like him, like, because he's not that valuable, it doesn't cost that much. So, like, if you coulda came off with, like, more you coulda came off with more wide receivers, a running back, more picks with that, like, that's what we need to do, you know? Joshua said, "I've seen Xavier Worthy go 103 in Superflex and non-Superflex. How wild is that?" That is wild, and, like, I mean, in your home leagues, that's gonna happen sometimes. Don't forget, he went to the Chiefs, so the value is just gonna be pushed up. We we have to be realistic, right? There's not like, how many wide receiver ones can there really be for us in fantasy football? There's only 12. There's only 12. Like, and then especially when you're talking about, like, dynasty rankings, like, who's gonna get into the top 12 of dynasty rankings? Like, can Worthy be an actual wide receiver one? Like, we gotta stop chasing the cheetah ghost. Like, there's nobody that's going to be like Tyreek Hill. It doesn't matter how fast Worthy is, he's not Tyreek Hill. Can he become that? Yes, possibly. I'm not denying the fact that that can possibly happen. But realistically, what are those chances? Like, Mahomes likes to spread the ball around. And it doesn't seem like they just need Worthy and then, like, that's it. Like, no, they want other talent around them. Like, look, you got Marquise Brown, you got Rashee Rice, you got Travis Kelce, and then when you're thinking about it for the long run, it's like, is Brian Thomas really the pick? Should we be taking Brian Thomas ahead of Worthy and McConkey? I think McConkey gives you instant production right off the bat. Right? Instant production right off the bat. But there's no telling that the Chargers don't go out there next year and draft a highly touted wide receiver or go and pick up one in free agency or go and get a T. Higgins, to add on to McConkey. That's my fear there. I don't think McConkey is like a bona fide star wide receiver, dynasty wide receiver one. Like, I don't think that is in the outcomes. Again, is it possible? Yes, of course it is. But like, there's not too many things point to that, and it's not a high probability. It feels like Brian Thomas could be the actual wide receiver one. He could maybe be a dynasty wide receiver one for us, especially like especially how we thought of Brian Thomas coming in. That Instagram is fucking up over here. Everybody had Brian Thomas as pretty much their wide receiver 4 because we saw the talent, we saw the potential, and he didn't go to a bad spot. I think initially we just loved the spots and that production we can get from Kansas City and from the Chargers. But Brian Thomas is the better prospect. You could argue Xavier Worthy because he's produced for many years, and for Brian Thomas, it was the big year, but like, I wanna know what you guys think. Like, is it Brian Thomas? Is it Worthy? Is it McConkey? Who are you taking? If you've gotta choose between those 3 guys, in what order are you taking it, and why? Because I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like, there's nothing wrong with having any of these guys over the other. But let me know and tell me why. Let me see what you guys are thinking. Traded my 4th for $800. That would give me money to risk on Watson and then still have a good amount of fab to spend later. Okay. You get 800 fab, Jesus, okay. You could do that. We'll revisit this time next year. No, I don't think that you're wrong. Like, even if Pickens does become a wide receiver 1, like, he finishes top 12 next year, let's just say. It's just the fact that you lost a lot of value in the trade. It's not necessarily the player that you went after, that's fine, but value, like, you should have been able to get more out of that trade. That's all. Joe, what's up, Joe, on X? Would you trade Corley for Christian Watson? Um, yeah, I think I want Christian Watson because we know, like, what he can do. All it's gonna take is one game. We go out there week 1, Christian Watson has over 6 catches for a buck 20 and a touchdown, and his value is skyrocketing. Like, we don't know who that wide receiver 1 is over there. Is it Jaden Reed? Is it Christian Watson? Like, he's been hurt. He hasn't been able to play. Um, And Corley, I mean, he's going to the Jets. He's going to a good spot. He is a guy that catches a lot of balls at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. He gives you a ton of yak. So for the Jets, I think that that's a good thing. Like he does something like he's not Garrett Wilson. And he's not Mike Williams on like the deep bombs. So, he gives you a different kind of dynamic. And we see Aaron Rodgers pull those check down, he does those check down screens all the time, calling audible and then boom, calls hike and then throws a screen. Like that's gonna be good for Corley, especially like instantly when you have Aaron Rodgers there. But for me, I think the upside of Watson is too much. And I think his value can skyrocket higher than Corley's ever would. But that's just how I feel about him. How do you guys feel about Watson? Oh, my bad. That was the same one. Dynasty Dumbfire, what's up? BTJ, Worthy, or Knicks at the 109 in a 12-team Superflex PPR start 10. My other QBs are Purdy, Wilson, DJ, Wolf. Yeah, that is Wolf. It's for me automatically. It's Knicks. I have Knicks at the 108 in Superflex rookie drafts. I have him going before any of those other wide receivers. So the top 3 wide receivers go, the other quarterbacks go. It's Knicks at the 108. He's a starting quarterback. Like, you have to take him there. You can't pass that up. Like, we know how hard it is to go out and buy quarterbacks in Superflex leagues. And time again, we see people, as Diaz always says, not respect the position. Like, you need quarterbacks. You need quarterbacks. And everybody's fine with some of these old ass bums like Russell Wilson and Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers, and you're relying on them as your QB2s, and then boom, they go out there and they're done in week 1 or halfway through the season, or don't even play the championship game because they get pulled. So you can't rely on some of these old guys. You need some of this young talent. And again, it's just about the cost. It's about the cost. If Nix becomes a top 15 quarterback, you're going out there and you're selling him for Worthy plus. It might not be right now, but during the season or after the season, you could be able to sell Nix for Worthy plus. Like, that's a possibility. That's how strong, like, we know that's how valuable quarterbacks can be if they hit. So you've got to take the quarterback there. You can't rely on Wilson. You can't rely on DJ. So yeah, I'm taking Knicks there automatically. Dumbfire, dumpster fire. Brian Thomas, easy. I may be crazy, but I have him at wide receiver 3 over Odunze. No, I don't think you're crazy. I would just say I wouldn't agree, but I don't think you're crazy at all. Like, Brian Thomas is awesome. Where we don't really like, if he reaches full potential, like, that's what we're talking about with Brian Thomas. Wicks is the Packers wide receiver 1. Another guy, like, that's, we don't know who the guys are on the Packers. So for me, like, I would take Watson, and if I have Watson, I'm trading him immediately. Immediately after one big game, we're trading Watson. Like, that's the time to dump off. That's the time to get off. No problem, Joseph. Appreciate you, man. My thoughts too. Just took Knicks. Yeah, definitely a good idea, man. Tommy, what up, Tommy? Mitchell, Franklin, Penix, Corum, Coleman. For me, it's Penix. I have him over Coleman. But again, you can take Coleman. I just don't want to pass up on what could be a future quarterback. Again, we don't know what's happening with Kirk. It is risky. You do have to wait on it. It sucks, and you're gonna have to have patience. But for me, it's Penix. If you don't want to take Penix, it's Coleman. It's not Corum for me, for sure. I think I'm taking Franklin and Mitchell before I take Corum. So give me Penix, and if you don't want to go that route, I'd go Coleman, then Franklin or Mitchell, whoever you like better. For me, it's Franklin, and then Corum last. Rare do you get a chance to get a top 12 drafted QB at the 109 in Superflex? Exactly. And he's a starter right away. He's with Sean Payton, and he's a smart quarterback. Like, he just has to play smart. Like Drew Brees, again, not comparing him to Drew Brees, but Drew Brees, Jesus, I can't even talk, played smart football. Like, Bo Nix, he does play smart football. He doesn't, like, have this rocket arm. Like, he's not great at a million things, but He's just smart with the football, and now he goes over there, he gets his wide receiver 1 in Troy Franklin. So again, like, I think Troy Franklin, like, we might be able to move him up a little bit. Like, I mean, he's at the 2.7. It's hard to move him up higher past that. Like, I still have Pierce Allen Leggett ahead of him, even Burton. I think Burton is in an awesome spot on the Bengals. Like, I mean, being able to get him at the back of the 2nd round, like, that's a value for me. Again, I think the biggest questions are which quarterback are you taking and in what order? Daniels, May, and McCarthy. Next question is which wide receivers are you taking? Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy, or Lad McConkey? You know? Next question is either Jonathan Brooks or Trey Benson. Next question is how far do you let Penix go? And then after that, you kinda have a big tier of, like, who are you taking? Coleman, Polk, Pearsall, Leggett, Franklin, Burton, like a big tier of guys there. But, yeah, definitely a good idea to take Nick's, dumpster fire. My bad, Joshua. Joshua had a question over here. Um, I'm picking 8th and 11 in those leagues, so I'm not sure if I'll get anything to slide. Brian Thomas, because he got the talent and could produce as soon as midseason. Worthy is next. Speed and solid route runner, of course, situation. I like Lad, but don't completely trust his profile. Yeah, I'm with you on Lad. That's the downside on Lad is like he didn't really produce in college. So is he going to be able to do that now that we get to the NFL? So I think initial reactions kind of push up with those landing spots, Worthy and McConkey, but I think we do need to change and take, I think we might need to change it up and take Brian Thomas there at that 1.8. But again, it's pick your poison, pick who you want. There's no wrong answer. No wrong answer. But yeah, throw out any last questions you guys have before I get up out of here. I just wanted to hop on quick tonight for a little bit, answer any questions everybody's got, do a little rookie mock draft with y'all. Maybe we'll do it again tomorrow night. And then, of course, Tuesday night, we got our show. So 10 o'clock Tuesday night. We are live every Tuesday. But yeah, make sure you check out all the videos on the channel. You can follow us on Instagram at Dynasty Life Fantasy as well. Everything should be in the description of where you can find us, where you can follow us. But yeah, smash that like for us if you haven't already. Smash that subscribe if you're new. Appreciate everybody for watching and commenting, being part of the community. But yeah, about to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all.